I say for the past 6 to 7 years, I've started to encounter a lot of hardships. I haven't had any relationships dating wise. Maybe I've been on one date in the past 7 years. I've also been having money problems and parent problems. 3 to 4 years ago, I found out that the man who I currently call my dad may not in fact be my real father. I can't get a straight story from anyone, and no one story matches each other. Uh, my luck seems to be in a dump as well. Motivation's out of the window. Also, on a side note, I have been trying to have an out-of-body experience for the past few years, and I haven't had any luck. I've been trying really hard. Used to play university sports and competed at high level things, so I know what it takes to put in effort into things I'm passionate about. It's been really bothering me that I haven't had out-of-body experience in 2 years of trying, and starting to think something is wrong with me. I'd be curious out of past life entities and insights on anything. You can talk about anything relevant to me and the whole thing. Awesome. Thank you. So with that in mind, yeah, let's just focus on the out of body experience first thing, because this just stood out the most. You're being grounded. A lot of people who are doing a lot when they leave or their consciousness shift is information you find. You get insights. You shift your consciousness. You explore it out there. You might find information, and later on, a lot of beings are kind of like seeing you as dangerous. Even those who are watching, if you feel like you're trying to get out, but you feel trapped and you have no luck, there's a reason for it. Specifically with you, lovely person. Let's just see. Sometimes I take longer because I have tons of images popping up to me. So it's like a bunch of puzzle pieces and info that I get, and I have to just put it in words and try to have a chronologic story in order, so to say. So, suppression, you having this ability, like you get out of body. You've been suppressed. You've been suppressed and no memories, and also being trapped within the body. You've been pushed in the body. As a kid, you've been going out a lot, like with the astral projection, but uh, there's this pushback where people try to put you back in your body so that you would not explore too much. Why is that? I'm seeing you as a time weaver. So a lot of beings try to alter realities and change up bigger stories, bigger events for their own interests and benefits. And you've been pretty much like stopping that. You have this access where you don't really go with other groups. You don't really have this place to call home or soul family where a lot of people are like, oh, I'm Irma, I'm a Tegatan, I'm a Pleiadian, I'm a Lyran, I'm a Zutrax, I'm something. And for you, I see you more of a solo player who is really curious, who has a lot of adventures, but you can't connect with others. You go and you engage with groups, but it's not like you will incarnate and spend your whole lifetime as a certain group, and this is the thing. You can go in, you can explore, you can experience, but you will get out and you will not over-identify. So this is great because like it gives you this freedom of not being too stuck in the matrix, not being too stuck in a certain belief system or a group or their ideologies. And you have this freedom to just like see things for what they are, but not over-identify them, not make it yours. You just see the information and you do whatever you want with it. That makes you very dangerous because a lot of people and a lot of groups uh, would like to have that for themselves. They would like to have someone who does the exploring, who gives information, but it's like, hey, because you're not already identifying with someone, some parties are interested in buying your services. Some parties are like, you might be dangerous. If someone gets you as a friend, you're going to cause issues, which is why it's important to sort of suppress you and shut you down. So Time Weaver, altering realities and not letting people to use things for their own benefits, just kind of like sewing things back together, putting it back into place. That's a good thing. Exploring and not being in other groups, like, yeah, what else pops up? Just gonna open up your photo because like get more access that way. I see more correlations to if people have read about Andrew Bartis, the Galactic Historian, with you, you seem to have this ability to read information, like I said, like exploring, finding things out, hearing stories, and you can go into realms or places, and it's like having a connection to a supercomputer-ish, to where you gain access to everyone in there. And you read the consciousness, you read the energy, you read information, you get it out for yourself to have an understanding of what this place is about. And then you either engage or use that to help someone out or leave. And with you, it's like gathering massive amounts of information to where you learn about this place and that group. And with it, it's like this guy is really dangerous because now he's on Earth. And if he was to explore, like think of Nikola Tesla or other people who are able to astral project, astral travel, become lucid in their dreams, they pull information and they put it in use. And for you, it's like, hey, whether you would be interested in creating certain devices, whether you would write stuff and just use it as self-disclosure and expose things, you're dangerous. For it, I think like, for you to have this open look into your other aspects, or what some people even might call past lives and stuff, you have a harder time to it. You have a harder time accessing even past events, where I would say brain fog, hard time focusing, procrastination, the events that has happened in the childhood and stuff, it's kind of becoming blank, and the bigger memories or the details are disappearing, becomes foggy. While for some people they say like, oh, genetically it's normal, we forget about that stuff. Like, no, this is not necessarily. People can have access, but at the same time, it's part of the suppression of the consciousness, to where, hey, there's a lot of details, things you've been doing as a kid that today you could use as well. Like for manifesting, for visualizing, for creating stuff, for getting out of body, you did things naturally as a kid. As you grew up, things happen in life, you lost it. It's just a muscle you've stopped using, and it got suppressed. So dream constructs, you're being put in there as well. I would say spider, octopus looking-ish entities in your house. So they're creating the fake dreamscapes. They're also harvesting your energy, removing the memories throughout the night. So even if you do have any experiences, it's like these guys will try to suppress it, rewrite it, kind of make it feel blank, and you wake up, groggy, dizzy, as if you did not had enough sleep, feeling exhausted, feeling like try to get some sleep but still need some more rest. So these guys will do that. What else comes up? Mirrored realities. I would say part of your consciousness and things you try to create, the effort you put in, it is manifesting for other people. It is manifesting for you in other realities, in your other aspects, but not here. And it's like the best that you try to get in your life shows up for others or for your other parts, but not to you here presently. This is like a mirrored reality programming, reflection as in, or deflection, like deflect, either way, yep, deflect. So whatever you try to get to yourself is given to others, and it's like, it's constantly having this like energy siphoning where you are giving, but never getting back. And it's like this being or feeling completely empty, not having anything for yourself-ish. That is a thing. Entity clusters. But these guys are more, they're like magnets, and they're also amplifying your feeling states. So the beliefs you have, whether it's like, oh, I can't get out of body, it's hard to visualize, it's hard to do the stuff, I'm not seeing the results. These guys, the entities, the thought forms, will be in your space, and they're like, oh, I can't do anything, I can't leave, I can't escape. They're kind of like trapped with you, but the thing that they've are experienced, like, oh, I'm trapped here, I'm stuck in this body, as in they're stuck with you. The entities cannot get out, but what they're experiencing and their perception of reality and how things are, it's kind of like you misidentify and have a misownership of those thoughts. So whatever belongs to the entities, their thoughts, their feeling states, their stuff becomes yours, you misidentify that, they make it yours, and then it becomes part of your reality where you're creating it. So there's that. What else comes up? I would say even this like twisted energy. Kind of hard to explain, but like think of like if the human body is a vessel and you have a physical body, an energetic body would be like complete overlay. You put two and two together and it's like it just makes one picture. It feels like you have a body, but you yourself, it's like trying, like you're crooked, twisted, trying to fit in that body. It comes like psychologically, emotionally, like a lot of suppression in life where you're trying to fit in. So adapting, and it would be like in psychosomatics, just like trying to fit in, listening to others, respecting others, not wanting conflicts and stuff. But then it's like you change yourself and try to adapt, and you don't have your own private space anymore. So it's just like twisting your own beingness to where you're trying to fit in that vessel, but it makes you like crawl into that one little corner. And this also, like your energy body, your astral body is not aligned with the physical. Like if we would look at the layers and stuff, like I would see like it's pretty crooked where energetic body is like in one shape, astral body is in the other shape, and there's just like this cluster of mass to the point where even if you are doing meditation and try to do some alignments of like, let's say, energetic works or even meridians and stuff, you don't see the full results where it's just a mess. You work on yourself and it even kind of backfires because the chains do not connect. And it's like it hits the wall and it backs, like jumps back, and it's like it's just a mess within. So there's that. But let's go into some of the things you could do to solve it. Let's say with your energetic bodies and the whole twist and stuff. What I would say, like, if you can visualize or think of those layers, where you have your physical body and then not fitting in, so the energetic body, astral body, and stuff like that. Imagine yourself laying in bed or lay down in bed, as if you're trying to sleep or get out of body. And as you're laying down, imagine as if, okay, I have the physical body, and now my energetic body as an overlay comes in and fills me up. And now the astral body as an overlay comes in and fills me up. And if you have like a hand, like a body, another part comes in and fills you up. And it's like a book page on top of the page on top of the page. It's like creating layers, but now you yourself are putting it in consciously the way it stands. Because your physical body is like this, your energetic body is like this, your etheric body is like this. So it's crooked, twisted, and you should put like layers together to sort of like just get everything in place. Because now even like the energy work you do, it stops. Like there's more energy, more feeling states, more experiences like on the right side of your body, like and your left side, your lower body, it's like it's disconnected. It's not aligned properly. And I'm not sure how to explain. Like I see pieces, I see visuals, I see things. Like how do I explain this stuff to people? How do I put it in words and make it make sense? So there's that. With follow suppression, as regards your past lives, as regards you getting out of body, as regards you being grounded and stuff, you can make deals, you can rewrite them. So think of if there are any groups that are targeting you. There are Dracos, Mantis, AI, more of an AI. Another reason to stay away from devices or just reprogram stuff, because you might see different patterns in your life that are really going nuts. So it's just like a program written of what's going to happen and what kind of reactions it should trigger in you. If you look and have this introspection and you see the patterns in your life of your behavior, of certain events that trigger certain reactions that you might not like, that is not serving you, imagine writing a code. Like, okay, you're a programmer or you've been in the high-level sports, so there are certain rules and specifics and criteria that the story has to meet to happen. and you create like, okay, so from now on, you would look at the patterns that are happening and like ideas you have or things you have a story about it, how you see it, and you rewrite. Like, so the new story is whenever this happens, I react like this. The new story is that person that used to behave like this now becomes different. You can literally invite another conscious being into the body. Like if there are people around you who seem to be taken over, who seem to be more NPC like, who seem to be more controlled, some of us can push the entities out of their way if they have any. Some of us can change their programs. Others can invite and put a conscious being that would be loving, that would be healing, that would be interested in playing in this world. It's not like we're trying to trap beings here, but more like there are those that want to engage, but they don't want to have that birth and soul contracts and tons of agreements. They're like looking for a way to bypass the system, which is why we can invite the walk-ins, we can invite egregors, tulpas, and other things like great beings, or invite someone else and put that consciousness and beingness within another body that seems to be more accessed. So you can do that. As regards like if any people around you are acting more like NPCs or are more programmed and controlled like handlers or run by AI and stuff like that. So you can change the beings. You can remove the programs and invite a conscious being. And believe me, well, you don't have to. I've had I've had plenty of sessions and I've worked with people, and others have told me that they have done it as well, even with their parents who are complete handlers, who are more a person who experienced birth bomb, lives with really messed up family, and at some point in life realizes like, I'm done with these beings, freaking narcissists, and just that beingness pushes out of the body and invites a loving being, someone that they have a connection with in one of their other aspects, in one of their other lives. This being comes up and father becomes friendly, understanding, loving. She just completely like, what the hell? Of course, it didn't last long. That being chose like, okay, few months was enough, like bye now, and left. And then the program came back, but those few months were like freaking amazing in that person's life with a change in the father and stuff like that. So you can rewrite others or remove the program or invite the being whenever they're done, because they're not incarnating. They can consciousness shift, be in the body, be in the vessel, do their stuff, and then get up at will. So good for others. As regards getting out of body and all of these systems and programs, as I've mentioned before, like as looked at your photo, and I mentioned these astral implants kind of grounding you as if you've had stones on yourself. So if you lay down, you might feel your body shift to where maybe more of your back, maybe more of your head is more squished to the mattress or the pillow, because you can lay down but feel more pressure. And even with your hand, you can kind of like go and scan like, okay, this is normal, this is really hot. So it feels like there's some energetic implant over here. And you go and like, okay, maybe, well, my hips, my legs. So you energetically might feel or scan yourself and get the reading, just get the knowingness, get information that, yeah, this is the place. And there's going to be like energetic implant that works like an anchor. An anchor dropped in the sea from the ship. It's just keeping you down. So again, you identify the place, you might get a feeling state, you might get the knowingness, you identify what it is, and you think of like picking it up and just pulling it out of yourself, deleting it, dissolving it, destroying it, removing it from your space. Like lots of ways to do it. It's all up to you and your creativity. There's that. The spider and octopus beings in your room. If you do not see them, if you do not perceive them, then just having an identification that, okay, my dreams are feeling hijacked. I wake up feeling groggy, snoozy, exhausted, or I experience like weird dreams and stuff, like it's just controlled reality. You might get a sense. Having that as identifying the situation, you pretty much focus on it and again dissolve it. Think of an idea, okay, a spider looking being, like an astral spider, an astral octopus being, harvesting my energy, creating like dreamscapes and stuff. You identify it, you imagine it being removed, you can destroy it. Either way, using golden shackles, using galactic vortex, it's up to your creativity. If you want, take a gun and shoot him. If you want, take a baseball bat and hit him and stuff. But there's that. One of the bigger things that really work is if you imagine a realm, that would be, let's say, paradise, like this fits a lot of needs for beings where they need rest, where they need to have adventures and stuff. And you visualize or imagine as if you would be writing a book and you're like, well, there's a scenery. There's this wonderful valley with the mountains in the distance and the lake nearby, and there's horses running around. So you make up a story of what a certain place looks like. It is the realm you're creating. And you give a percent, like you give this the word just disappeared. You give a permission to any entities in your space to leave you and to go to that world. So it's like, okay, if there are any entities in my space, if there's anyone in my space that is feeling trapped, that is here against their own free will, that does not want to be here, that got ordered to mess with me, anyone who is conscious or unconscious of it that's here in my space, you have my permission to leave. I've just created the realm. If you want, you can go to this world where you will recover, where you will get back your memories, where you will learn, where you will have free will, and from there on, you can choose what you want to do with your own life. A lot of these entities and beings, one, come here to help, come here for specific reasons because of our past lives and the reputation we have created, because they have higher ups. So with the variety, if we give them permission and we direct them to a place, they can come, they can hear us, and they can go and leave us. For you, because you've been learning a lot, what in your other past lives or other aspects with the information you've been gathering, a lot of beings come to you for information. They see you as a teacher. They see you as a mentor. So you're like a magnet. You constantly attract people who want to learn, whether willingly or not, whether they're like consciously coming like, hey, you can be the one to teach me. Or they end up in your space and they might not be good, but they will use you as a catalyst in their life to learn something that will shift them. Like you will be used as a nexus point for someone. You will shift their entire life, their entire existence into something else. So whether you meet a narcissist or psychopaths or people who will be abusive, bullies and stuff, after being with you, you're like a trigger that will change their mindset, that will activate something within their consciousness, and they're like, oh, they get this bigger, different idea, and they change. So with you, because of the information you have, you are constantly attracting beings, entities, and people, and ETs and stuff who either want to learn from you or either want to use you as a catalyst. Having that as an idea and identifying the situation is like, okay, my reputation of people can learn from me because of all the information I have. I will no longer allow anyone in my space. And if you want to learn all of that info that I have that might be triggered when you're around me, you will get in that realm. And you direct them where they can go and not, they don't have to stick with you and wait for something magical to happen for you to trigger them to create this catalyst effect. But they can go into your created realm, and there they can get the specific help, or they can have access to it and not wait, but just go experience and learn things themselves. So I would say like create a realm, and knowing what you've experienced before and all the info you have, give them the freedom to leave your space. Removing these energetic implants that are keeping you grounded, removing the entities, changing the view, because people will come to you and beings and ETs, and they will try to stick with you. So it creates this mass that is like, it's harder for your consciousness to shift as freely. It's harder for your astral body to leave, which is why it's like hard to have an out-of-body experience. Just this mass of beings and entities and thought forms around you. You can direct them some other place. If beings see you as dangerous, like if someone hangs around this guy is like just a walking library, he is dangerous, so let's block him from that ability. Now you create realms where people can get the same stuff from you, but not hanging around you, but they can just go experience stuff on their own in your created realms and learn. You create possibilities where you don't have to be targeted. Now there's tons of libraries they can go to and find the same stuff. So you get a lot of targets off your back, and people can go learn and leave you. And at the same time, you're like, hey, you kind of become invisible to some groups. There's much more, but as a quickie, because we can get a lot of details into more